Sunday, the 29th of November. Hope you are all well. I'm Barbara. Thank you for coming and having your coffee with me or whatever it is your drink. Grab your drink. Homage to Chevis for in the Chevy Rail Stuff podcast. Grab your drink. As you can see, I have solved my glowing romantic movie star dream sequence problem with my phone. You guys are funny. Turns out it was a dirty phone and a dirty camera. Last night, I mean, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm on my phone, and I'm like, oh, there's, I'm like scraping something off my phone cover. I'm like, what the heck is that? And then I realized, like my whole phone cover is dirty with something, and I don't even know what it is. And I'm like, okay, if it's this dirty, it's probably whatever this is probably going over my camera. And it was, and I just got some paper towel and water, which is probably not the best thing. But I do have a phone cover on. It's coming off, but it's not off yet. Okay, kids, you already know I'm late today because I could not fall asleep last night. This is the third night in a row where I could not fall asleep. And Dennis couldn't fall asleep either, so we both got up really late, and he brought me coffee in bed. But I just got out of bed and made myself a cup of coffee, and it's 20 minutes after 11. So, I mean, crazy. But if we keep this up, we're just going to be switching our days and nights. And I have a lot to talk about. I have things to talk about. I'm actually thinking about saving some of them and not even telling you till tomorrow or the next day because I'm not going to have anything to talk about. But I finished Janine's boxy last night. It's blocking. I wove in the ends. I did everything. And so that felt really good. It feels really good to have all my Christmas presents done. But it is currently blocking. Now, Dr. Christy, if you don't want to see your final present, if you want a tad smidge of surprise when you open your Christmas present, avert your eyes for a while because I am showing off your sweater. There is her boxy. It turned out so nice. I love this yarn. And it's speckly. She wanted something speckly. It is definitely speckly. Blues and greens and speckly. I think I accomplished that. Now, it doesn't look like I expected it to because my plan was the background color would be cream. But I am really happy with it. You can't really tell, but I have 10 rows. You can kind of see a little bit of striping there. That's because I did 10 rows of plain yarn and 10 rows of sparkly yarn. And so I did stripe it in terms of different skeins. And so it does have a subtle, one of the skeins had a subtle, more greeny background to it. But it is not an obvious stripe. And it is not an unpleasant stripe, and I am really happy with it. She does have, every once in a while, a little bit of red. But I warned her about that, and she was okay with it. So anyway, there's Christy's present. Here's Rich's present, because of course I haven't moved it off. So now I have to do a podcast, because soon things are going to be going in the mail, because I finished Janine's boxy too. So it'll be the boxy podcast. But I've gotten goodies and dyed yarn and all these things that I need to talk about on my podcast. So I need to start making notes and do that one of these days. One of these days will be a podcasting day. But the way I'm saying that makes me think it won't be today. So after I finished Janine's boxy, I was sitting there in front of the television and I decided to make pom-poms. So I got the little hat These are the little hat. And my plan is to alternate pom-poms and little hats. So I made all the different combinations, all 3 possible combinations of my 3 colors of yarn. Here's the 3 colored one. They're a little rough. I may be doing a tad more trimming, but they're exactly the right size, I think. So I don't want to trim too much, because these are going to go next to each other, and I think that's a good size pom-pom. The next size up is, see, the problem is when you pick them up, you see something that needs to be trimmed. The next size up is too big, I think. So anyways, I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 pom-poms, 15 pom-poms, and I have little hats. I don't have 15 hats, so I got to go back to hat duty. So this is the components of a garland. And I don't think my mother-in-law's watching my vlog very much, so I think I'm making a garland for her on her fireplace. She has a fireplace to just go across like that. She was just trying to figure out what she was going to do to decorate, because she was feeling like decorating too. So I think I'll do that, and then that would be fun. So that's what I did yesterday and last night, and I'm feeling like I really accomplished something. And I started on the dining room. I made good progress on the dining room. I took at least 10, maybe 15 project bags out of the dining room and dumped them in my room. My room's now a mess again. I think my New Year's resolution is going to be the same as I had last year, which was my craft room needs to be renovated, organized, and stuff gotten rid of and stuff organized. So I think that's going to be my New Year's resolution, because we're still going to be in COVID lockdown, and I need to get some corners of my life more straight, and I will feel better. And now, you know, I'm into 2 rooms now, because I cleaned stuff out. I took stuff out of my craft room last January, and got it like looking okay. I mean, it wasn't organized in any way, but it didn't look so crowded. But that means my guest room is full. And one of these days, I'm going to be able to have guests again. But I took 10, at least 10, maybe 15 project bags. Some of them I hadn't seen in ages out of the dining room. And I have more to do because I need to make more space. Those were really tucked around and not really in, it didn't really open up a ton of space. It just dejunked, and they don't belong there. So that was easy, but I am going to make more space today, and then I'm going to start clearing stuff out of this room. I'm wearing my Paloma today. I keep touching I had a little bit of my crook back in my tension, whatever, so I thought, let me cover my neck. So I'm wearing my Paloma today by Espace Tricot. And I think you might have seen these earrings before. I feel like you have, but I'm wearing them again. Silver with a little gold ball that moves. It moves back and forth within this little circle. But I do like multi-toned metals and geometric shapes, and so that was fun. So I did do that yesterday, so I really felt like I accomplished a lot of stuff yesterday, and it feels good. It feels really good, and finishing the Christmas presents feels really good too. I did not pick up something to knit immediately. The only thing I have on the go next to my chair that I could just lean over and pick up is my Silberling. And I didn't do that. I've knit a lot. I mean, I've knit 3 boxes in a row in the last 3 months. So I was knitting a lot. I needed it. It was my twiddle for stress relief through the time of Garland's passing, and it worked really well, but I didn't grab another knitting project immediately. And so I'm thinking that my brain is going about all the things I want to do for Christmas, decorating, and so I'm not sure what I'm gonna start next. If I'm gonna pick up my Silberling and keep going on that. It's certainly a beautiful color and will be a beautiful Christmas sweater. Something to think about. But I have sweaters quantity of this yarn that I want to knit on, and I bought that Toad Hollow yarn to make that striped cardigan. So I have knitting plans for sure. I'm on break, and I have a lot of other plans too. There's my pearly girl. Hey, pup. I think Maze is still outside. So one of the things I'm thinking about, and I may be crazy, I was talking to Dennis this morning about all the things I have in mind, and I realized that I think I may be crazy. But I texted Jason and Allison yesterday and asked for suggestions for the granddaughters, and Allison sent back and said, well, Sammy needs dresses and loves dresses and would love to have dresses. Isabel wants a laptop and a robot horse, so I'll think more about what she might like from you guys and get back to you. I'm like, okay. So, you know, what size is Sammy, and can I send her long sleeves? Because I'm in the Northeast. You know, it's wintertime here. And she said 4T, and she'll only be able to wear long sleeves for about 3 weeks. Which, I mean, that's why I asked, because I figured long sleeves were a no-go. And so I haven't done anything to try to see how possible it is to get nice dresses with short sleeves here now. But I was sitting there and I was saying, you know, you are Nana and you're feeling bad about not sending them handmade gifts, and you can sew. I can sew. And a little size 4T sundress with no sleeves. Piece of cake. I could do that. But here I am, all excited because I'm done with my Christmas making so that I can do whatever I want. And now I'm thinking about making some sundresses. So I will be going through a pattern book. I do not want a downloadable pattern, I'm sorry. I do not like them. I don't want to have to print them on my printer. I don't want to have to, you know, I mean, that's just too much. I want the old-fashioned, I'm an old-fashioned sewer. I want a you know, tissue pattern, and I want to just have it. So I'm going to be going to Joann's because I've got a lot of ideas going on in my head and look for dresses. So I may be sewing some dresses for Sammy. I've got to sew my my window things I'm planning on doing for my Christmas decorations, and I have to sew pillows, so I might as well just sew. Which will mean I have to do a little work in my room upstairs so that I have a place, because my sewing, I can sew up in my room now because I made room on in my craft room for my sewing machine. But then I just filled it up with other stuff. Anyway, so I may be crazy, but I'm thinking about that. I might go to Target on my way to Joann's in case I can find dresses I like. But the idea of making her some sundresses is growing on me, I have to say. And, you know, a 4T sundress won't take that long. So anyway, I'm thinking about doing that. And I'm not sure. But the other reason I'm a little crazy is that I got 2 lovely gifts yesterday. Thank you. Kathleen She's so funny. She said, I heard you talking yesterday about knitting little things for your granddaughter, so I thought maybe you might like an adventure gnome. So she got me the adventure gnome. Turns out it's not going to work out for Christmas gnomes for the girls, Kathleen, because it's a mystery knit-along, and it doesn't finish until Christmas Eve. So I have no idea what it looks like because it's a mystery. But starting December 1st, I will get an email every day. Every other day will be a new clue to the gnome that I'm knitting. And the other days are going to be charming stories, special treats, and a recipe or two for traditional gnomish delights, which sounds very sweet. So it uses 4 different colors, and she does give you a little advice. Color 1 is for the beard and elsewhere, and she suggests a light color. And color 4, I suggest a dark color with in-between colors. And it says, note, you'll be happiest if you wind C1 as a center pole ball. So makes me think we're going from both the inside and the outside, or we're going to need 2 strands of that. So anyway, I'm going to think about my colors. And thank you, Kathleen. That was really sweet. And this is going to be fun. You know, I'm looking for fun little things. And I mean, a gnome, unless it's giant, into 12 pieces is going to be just a little bit of knitting. So I'm going to work on this. I'll be curious to see how it is. Now, this is by Sarah Schira, S-C-H-I-R-A, Sarah Schira, the Advent Journal. So thank you, Kathleen. That was so sweet of you. And the other thing is, I got a package from Ireland. The lovely Lisa sent me a cute card, which I'll tell you about that later. Cute card. I tried to figure out what the book is. This is a piece from a book, but I didn't get it. Carmody was his opponent again. Carmody and James. That sounds like. Is that? I guess I don't know. I should Google it. I can figure out what book this is. You know. But anyway, it's a very cute card, which has got me thinking about making Christmas cards. This is why I think I'm going crazy. She sent me this beautiful, a wonderful note. Such a nice note. And this is IAY, Irish Artisan Yarn, in the colorway Dublin. She's from Dublin. Isn't this gorgeous? This is such a beautiful color. I love this color. It's got a little bit of bright green in it, but it's mostly like a dusty green and a dusty taupe, and I just love this colorway. So this is going, and it's 65% superwash merino, 20% bamboo, and 15% silk. Feels like a dream. I opened this up. I said, oh my gosh, I got to make a sweater out of this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. It is just stunning. Oh, and look at the Celtic knots. I love Celtic knots. So I was, needless to say, brought tears to my eyes. What a gorgeous. So this, I'm going to make a cowl. I need to find a really nice one skein fingering weight cowl, because this will be beautiful on me, don't you think? Oh, and it'll go perfectly with my Paloma. So when I'm really toasty warm. Or it could be a one skein shawl that, you know, that's just I don't want to dilute it with another color, I don't think. Oh, thank you anyway. I'm so lovely. You guys are so lovely. So that was a wonderful surprise. And I'm looking forward to knitting my gnome, my Advent gnome. But anyway, so then I'm looking at this card thinking, I can make Christmas cards. I can make Christmas cards. I did go through a paper crafting period of my life 20 years ago when I lived in the Pacific Northwest. They had a wonderful stamp rubber crafty store. I took a couple classes. I did something called tea bag folding, which is basically you take like a stash tea bag, a little piece of paper this big, and you fold it into different things. It was kind of interesting, and I don't remember how to fold anything. And one thing I did was I made put lots of those together in big ornaments that I made out of the wine labels from my parents' winery that turned out so gorgeous and so beautiful. And I don't have one of those anymore. There is one in the Christmas ornaments at my parents' house. I might swipe it if I get a chance. But so I have a box in my basement full of paper craft stuff, which I'm afraid might be coming upstairs. And that'll just be one more thing in my room that I have to figure out where to put it. But anyway, I really am inspired to do Christmas cards. Now, I have to do those soon if I'm going to do them. Can't wait till the last minute. Which is why I told Dennis maybe I'm just going crazy, because I have all these things I want to do. I'm, for the decorating and for whatever, and then I'm like, do I really want to commit to making Sammy dresses for Christmas? Although the reality is, if I don't get them done, I could make them for spring or summer. She'll be a 4T dress for a while. But I can do it. I'm sure I can. I'm her grandmother. That's what nanas do. Anyway. That's what's been happening with me. And I can't fall asleep at night, and maybe this is partly why. I did have bedtime tea that I was given in one of my packages last night, thinking it might help. Maybe you just have to do it more than one day. But Dennis had trouble falling asleep too, so maybe it wasn't just me. But so that's what's going on with me, a lot of things. I am going to have to podcast shortly because I have 2 finished boxies. Oh, and I'll show you Janine's tomorrow. It's wet upstairs. 2 finished boxies and Christmas presents and goodies and plans. Lots of things. So I will say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you are all well. I really, really do. And I'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. Everything I need to do, I need to go shopping for. And I'm not going out today, so there won't be big changes between today and tomorrow, in case you were wondering. Stay safe and stay sane.